Yeah, in fact, when we start, we actually just working in the, I think, this cafe from morning to night. We just find some cafe and then we just bring our laptop there. And then until we complete our first game, Chin. So once we done that, then we managed to license it out to publishers. The one that did Candy Crush, the King.com. So we back then they actually doing flash games, and our first game was flash game as well. So we licensed our first game to them, and then that's where we started to have our first revenue. And then from there, then we start really small, and we just rented a small place, and then work from there. So when we started was a person of three as a team. And then in 2011, when I wanted to do it more seriously, like more like a full-time job, it's hard that because parents didn't really agree on like working on game stuff, right? Because more or less because they do not understand what it is. So from there, actually, I had to convince. So when doing full-time, I actually started alone. And then when I started alone, I worked on Kings League, and then after 6 months, complete that game, and then that game is doing quite well. From there, then only generate more revenue and use it to employ new staff. When I actually that's quite funny because like since more I play a lot of games, right? And then when I go to my college, my dad actually asked me like, do you consider to make games since you like to play so much? I remember that time I did told him that I don't want to, I just want to play. So I studied multimedia. So in the One Academy. So when I study multimedia, we do website interactive contents and so on. And then when at first I like to do website very much, and then after a while I wanted to explore more interactivity. Just like website is more towards one way. So and then I exposed to this subject where we actually get to do interactive project. Like back then it was CD-ROM, but now no people use CD anymore. Right now CD-ROM. So I deal with Flash, and then I kind of like it because they have a lot of feedbacks and interactivity. And then it happens that I have one lecturer that actually he did games at hobby as well back then. So it's kind of like inspired me to explore more interactivity. In the end, the project itself actually looked like games. So yeah, I think from there actually I try to push myself harder whenever I work on interactivity projects, and the more interactivity you put in, it actually looks end up like a game, right? So in the end, like one I think might as well give it a try. So this started as work after working hours, create some small games. Yeah. I think the reason why is actually when when I wanted to do games full time, I couldn't find a company that actually have vacancy for such a role. Like for example, what they have maybe just modelers that maybe can render 3 or some items. You are not getting involved in the full development. So I really wanted to so since there's no such environments or such companies, so just decided to create one instead. Yeah. For hours, because we start small, so a lot of things that actually we learn it or do it along the way. So one good thing about us is actually I studied multimedia, so we actually more from the creative and art background. So we used to think ideas for all these advertisement and all that. So we always get to train about critical thinking. So when we work on games, it's like what makes us different compared to others is also we value the aesthetic element very much. So when we start thinking of ideas for games, right, we actually consider it, is it good to look at, fun to look at as well. So the visual part. So that makes us slightly different compared to others. And we also cultivate like no matter what role you are playing in this team. So everyone need to have the understanding of game design. So we don't have a role whereby like game designer, but everyone, no matter you are artists, programmers, or any kind of roles that you're playing at, right, you need to understand game design. So for example, if you are artist, so you try and draw something, And what we want to achieve here maybe is an adventure game. So we want to keep it adventurous. So you as an artist, you need to understand this, and then need to use your skill and try to use your skill how you draw it to make it feel like adventurous. So that's a challenge. And as a programmist, how do you program it to be adventurous as well? So it is abstract, but it's something like for example, boss fight and all that. Need to maybe you modify the control a little bit. Get the users to have more choices. For artists, maybe you can draw some elements like there's some dead crops over there, there's some road sign with some wanted poster and all that. So when the player look at all this kind of thing, right, they have imaginations and all that, rather than you put a beautiful trees or put a lot of rocks and all that. So the elements they put in is different as well. So this is a requirement for all people that actually involved. So it's not that everyone need to design a game, but everyone playing their role need to understand how to bring the best out of the game as well. So yeah, I guess like, and everyone always get the chance to voice out and to put in whatever they have, the ideas they have. But one thing we have is actually no matter what ideas you have, it's not always go into a game, because like when working on games in a team, everyone have their ideas. Everyone like, I have this good idea and all that. So, but if you put everything together, it's actually could be basically, so it's fun, but when everything put together, it might like, it lost the identity. So there will be a person who is in charge to actually set the vision. They have a very strong vision, and so that if we are trying to tally all these ideas compared to this vision, is it something that do we want to, for example, we want to have the player to explore, but we have this idea where we actually penalize the player whenever they lose. So it's actually doesn't go well with why we want to do the exploration, because players don't feel like doing exploration anymore because they are going to penalize. So this is something that then this idea is good, but maybe we need to change to something that actually cultivate the explorations from the players. So instead of like penalizing them, they lose some time for penalty, but they will get other things in compensate, or we provide a lot of options, but in the end they will still go back the same path and all that, right? Player will actually have that kind of sense. So yeah, so some people think like everyone get to give ideas, good thing, but sometimes it can be very yeah, I'll never be able to complete because they're just trying to cope everyone's idea. So someone need to have a very strong visions and direct. The cost usually based on the manpower. So the longer you takes to complete the game, it costs more. So for example, if you have one programmer, one artist, one designer, each of them take up 3,000, and then if you times it for let's say 1 year, so you have 12 times 6,000. So you can actually calculate very easily. So except when you started the studios and all that, you have the cost of hardware and software. So but that's one time thing. After that, it's actually more towards manpower. So how long does it take to complete one game? It usually can take like 6 months to 2 years plus. So we have one game is a Tiny Guardians. We took 2.5 years. So it's actually very long. So average for our game is about 1 year. So there are a lot of companies out there, they actually strike towards 6 months. So 6 months, they were saying like 6 months is the best time to have, because like by the time you complete it, the trending is still within the same trends and all that. Because if you make a game for 2 years, right, the trending, the technology, the graphics and all that might change a lot already. So that's why industry prefers 6 months, but for us, we focus a lot, value a lot on the quality. So we roughly go about 1 year. Of course, we are trying our best to optimize it so that we can complete as soon as possible. Hopefully 6 months, but still currently still about 1 year. My role is actually I do what is needed because a small team. So for example, good things I actually study multimedia. So for example, there's no artist, then I will have to fill up the role. If there's no programmer, I will fill up the role as well. But since company is slightly going bigger and bigger, right? What I do is actually from morning until before lunch, I will try to clear up all the admin works, basically some paperwork, HR works and all that, and sometimes the PR work. So basically all the paperwork and all that. So and also get updates for all the members for their status. So some kind of playing the producer kind of role. So to figure out what's for the next step. Is everything going on progress? If anything needed that we can't do, that we need to find out to, for example, sound, we always find people contract stuff to help us. So to figure out, so basically the daytime. So the after lunch usually, if those things could be done, so I will myself actually go into the development. So because I myself actually the reason why I started the company is so I want to make games, right? So I still want to get involved. So I will actually do the development part. So mostly the design and also the planning. So at the same time, we always have to like do as a bridge for the team to sync up the stuff. So basically, constantly checking and doing it. Then so since I a bit greedy, I do a lot of stuff, right? So at night, like after work, so that's the time that actually just me alone without teammates and all that. There's a time that actually spend time doing some programming and a bit of research. So yes, that's time that the time that I can really focus without other people. Or sometimes I will actually do it during the weekend so that I can focus. So because when everyone is around, I will have to play the role to just make sure everything is in contact. Yeah, it's actually happens where there's two ways how you can do it. So when you just started, maybe if you do not know anything and you do not have any network, right? The best is actually you just make a good game and you bring it to the conference. Or you do bring it to exhibitions where all the buyers or publishers gather. So there's a lot of this kind of event around, and nowadays a lot of support for indies as well. So if you actually apply to all that, you very likely you can get the booth for free or the opportunity for free to actually showcase the game. So since you do not know anyone, you just make sure your game is good, and then you're just setting up the booth there, show everyone your game they have played it. So people who like it will often offer you their make their offer. That's one. So once you have more experience or you know what you are doing, so when you make a new games, you actually need to identify your target's audience very clearly. And then nowadays it's not very hard because there's this platform like iOS, Google, Android, and all that, right? There's actually you can actually upload yourself and just selling. So what needs is actually once you know more people and all that, you roughly know the flow. So the for us, our first step is actually work with a publisher. So we are publishers, and then we learn whatever they did for our games on the publishings, and then the next game we actually try to publish ourselves by reading what the publisher does. So